And there's a snap to the 8th Pianocast. This one I'm going to talk about what I've gone through in the month, which has nothing to do with all the craziness that has gone in the world. Just a little chaos of my own and how I went about dealing with it. Got some new equipment, so the sound quality from here on out should be more pristine. And watch me how I make this I'll turn this into a tax write-off. Let's see if you can catch it. Let's see if I can be very smooth with it. Life for me has been really good. I mean, up to this point, and it still is, I've been very grateful for how well life has been going. It's been very progressive. And I don't say that because it feels like it's being progressive. I say that because the way I document my life, I can statistically see where I'm improving and where I'm falling behind, and so far everything is progressing. Some better than others. Yeah, it's all moving forward. And there's one thing that I forgot at the beginning of this month, and I was reminded. And that is that no matter when life starts to get really good, when you're in your prototype of whatever paradise you would like to be in, just remember that there's always a snake in the garden. God, being all powerful and mighty as he is, and the creator of everything, didn't take the snake out of the garden. It served its purpose for the story, but it still serves its purpose metaphorically. And that is to always remember that there's a snake that you're just going to have to deal with. So set up the systems in place to take care of it before it becomes an issue. Before one snake becomes two and two become four. We look at the story in Noah and the Ark. And despite if the flood happened or not, it brings up this topic of discussion. Does the flood come because we don't prepare for it? And if we prepare for it, can we prevent the flood? And despite if we prepared for it and the flood still comes, well, you'll be able to coast through it. You'll be able to not drown and die in the drama, die in the chaos. There are many different kinds of boats that we can build for different areas of our life. But let me share one that helps across many areas, and that is having your paperwork in place. Now, what do I mean by paperwork? Documentation, and having your assets not attached to your name. So the two vehicles that have brought the most peace of mind to my family and I has been cash value life insurance and trusts. You put your cash in the cash value life insurance and the assets and anything of value into the trust. you're no longer the owner of it because the trust is the owner of it, the life insurance is the owner of the cash, but you're still in control of it, so you control it. You just shift it away from it being on your Social Security. And cash value life insurance, properly designed, you can use it throughout your lifetime. So if you would like to look at policy designs, let me know, because I have my license. And with trusts, I would like to just suggest looking into doing some research. I had to deal with this one lady who wanted to take me to court for defamation of character, which made me laugh because in my mind I'm like, well, you degraded your own character. And I have a rental business with Airbnb, and so it's important that hosts leave honest reviews, because we're letting people into sometimes our homes where we live, and sometimes just the property that we've spent a good amount of money on to get up and going. Anyways, so this lady wants to take me to court wanted to, I think, not anymore, for a bad review. I'm like, look, that's the truth. You want to take me to court for the truth? I'll put all my paperwork together and let's go. Not that I wanted to go there because it's a waste of time. And I think what helped dismantle the situation is this concept that in the book of Proverbs, King Solomon talks about the slowest person to wrath wins. Not that we don't get angry, it's just the one that takes the longest to get there wins. Because she was the first one to get there. And my responses are very short, very to the point. Hers were long paragraphs. Things out of context, things that I didn't even bring up with her. Like, I've never questioned her intelligence, but she brought up her intelligence. I'm just like, and I ignored it, because it's like, I didn't bring that up. I'm not going to address that. This is not what we're communicating it about. So how do we communicate? So let me share this. When you're having a discussion with someone, and this was not the line that actually, hold on, before I get there. When you're communicating with someone, and one of my favorite verses in the book of Tito is that communicate in such a way that doesn't disgrace anyone. That one who is an opponent may be ashamed, having nothing evil to say of you. 2:8. Be a person of good patterns. So that way when someone wants to talk bad about you, they have to make up lies. And here's the thing about lies. Lies versus the truth. The truth tends to always prevail. Maybe not in the moment, but the truth always comes around. That was the first snake I had to deal with, and the first snake that reminded me, hey, snakes will always exist, no matter how good life gets. Now, that doesn't have to be very pessimistic. You're taking something negative and being very optimistic about it, in the sense that if you set yourself up to be protected, then when chaos comes around, you'll be able to operate from a place of strength and not stress or being caught off guard. For Jesus taught that be wise as serpents, but as gentle as doves, in the book of Matthew. See, the second snake stressed me out for the first night, but I had the systems in place to take care of it, and even though it stressed me out for the rest of the night, by the time I woke up, that problem went away because I had the things in place. Now the the third one, the one I just had to recently deal with, was at work. And I work in a lab, make some life-saving products. Definitely over-glorified in my mind, but it's honest work. And I'm working with some really expensive equipment. And there's only 2 shifts, day and night, and when I kept switching off with day, I'm just like, man, I just felt like my stuff is getting sabotaged, my production. And in a situation in a place like that, things are documented. So once I had the document in place, that I could prove, hey, something's going on. This is not normal. I was able to put all my paperwork together. Today's age, we protect ourselves by having our paperwork in place. And I took it to the higher ups. And here's the line that I wanted to share. Is that when you're in a discussion, regardless of who it's with or how intense it is, be willing to listen. And you'll be listened to. So if you're able to communicate first, or you're communicating your position, then here's the line that I like using. And it is, okay, Mr. or Mrs., before you tell me your position on the situation, I would like for you to tell me what you believe you heard me say, so that way I know we're on the same page. And you're responding to my overall message, and not just responding to one sentence or one word I said, and especially not responding to it out of context. Some variation of that. Management heard me, yet they were like, oh, I just have a hard time believing that person would do that. And I had to remind them. In paradise, there was a snake. And according to legend, it was the most beautiful creature, which is, it's going to make it hard to believe that they would do such a thing. And here's how you gauge whether you're dealing with snakes properly or efficiently, is that if they keep popping up, you could be doing a better job. Yet if you're taking care of them and you're setting up the systems in place and you forget they exist, then you've done a good job. But life will remind you there's always a snake in the garden, yet you've prepared for it. So it may stress you out for the night, but you have the systems in place to take care of it. So I'd like to challenge you to set some goals to prepare for chaos, to prepare for an emergency, to protect yourself, have the things in place to protect you. And it's not about not ever having to deal with the flood. Because we glory in turbulation. Turbulation creates perseverance, perseverance creates character, and character creates hope. Or we could change the word hope to goals. For why does one hope for something they can already see? Why does someone create a goal they've already achieved? But if we hope for something that we're not able to see, if we have a goal that we haven't achieved, then we're going to strive towards it with perseverance. So there's two ways to develop more perseverance. One is turbulation, and the other is setting up goals. And those set up for you to have a better character. And with better character, you're able to strive and achieve better goals. And the better the boat, you're able to weather through any storm. Those words come from the book of Romans. And that's not to say that we have to switch into a pessimistic perspective. Not at all. See, the optimism inside the pessimism, the optimism inside of knowing that, floods are always going to come. It could be an array of things. It could be the lady trying to take me to court, the guy trying to get me fired, or make me lose my job, or make me look bad, the person that broke my heart, or, a loved one dying. It could come in an array of things. The optimism inside of looking into the pessimism and knowing that floods are always going to come is that you better prepare for them. You're better prepared. And so something negative doesn't have to derail you. And so now the negative becomes something you can learn from. And if you can learn from it, you can earn from it. And if you can earn from it, then you've made anything negative profitable. And that's a really neat ability to have. I think that's where I'm going to end it. Be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Prepare for the floods. Fortify the things you've worked for. So you can better enjoy life with more peace of mind, with more appreciation. And when those waves come, you'll also be able to experience the bad in a much more positive way. because you know you're not going to drown, or the likelihood of that happening is very slim, to not rule it out. So be precautious. As I said, it's not about living in fear. It's just recognizing, hey, you know what? That's fine. There's a snake in the garden. I'm going to set up the systems in place to protect me, so I can go enjoy the garden and all the fruits it has to offer, and all the roses and flowers you get to smell, and the nice weather. Thank you for watching. As all the YouTubers now are saying, smash the like button, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching, listening. Gonna do a little piano and then sign off.